Make sure this actually... I need to make sure this works, because I've never done it this way, from the car anyway. Well, there's 11 people here already, so that's a good sign.
Well, there's 11 people here already.
Alright, 11 people here, and I started it like 60 seconds ago, so we're here. Great. So let me check X and Facebook. Yeah, hello everybody. So I'm in Oklahoma City right now. I don't actually know what the plan is. We're gonna make a plan. All right, it looks like we're coming up on Facebook here as well. All right, hello Facebook people. Thanks for joining. Let me just check X. X appears to be working as well.
All right, it looks like we're coming up on Facebook here.
So we'll give everybody a chance to join in, but I'm sitting in, where am I? Edmond? I'm in Edmond, Oklahoma right now. So I wanted to go live quick because this is kind of, well, I'll get into it in a minute. I got to wait for some more of you guys to join in. But anyway, hopefully everybody's doing good. A couple of rain showers moving in. I don't really, long story short, and we'll get into the details of this here in a minute, but I'm not expecting any sort of storm chasing activity today. The next few days, yes. Hang on one second. I got to plug you guys in, so you might lose audio for just a sec. But it'll come right back. No, shoot, where's the... I can't find the charge hole. There it is. All right, so the big question... Okay, so it switched. It should switch back. Okay, so it should have switched back.
Okay.
Test.
It should have switched back. Okay. Test.
Okay, so it switched back. Yeah, hello everybody. Okay, so we're charging now because we were gonna die otherwise. Candace, I think I got that right, is a channel member. Thanks for joining. The third event next week, I have no idea. I haven't looked beyond this week at all. I don't know what's coming. No idea. So what I wanted to show you guys is we've actually launched one of our major updates here for Project Weather Eye and RISE-26, which is a huge step. A huge step in the direction that we want to go. So we have all this data, but we don't have a way to actually visualize the data. Well, we do, but we didn't. So we now have a way to visualize the data, which we're making available to you guys. It's map.wxeye.org. And obviously you can find that in the YouTube, like it's the top like pinned comment there in the chat. Or you can find it, well, I guess that's actually probably the only place you can find it right now. Because I don't even think I have the link to it on the website, but I'll show you that in a minute. Basically, that is to visualize our data probes, the soundings, and all that. Because without that, we can share that stuff with you guys, but we end up having, oh, here's a link for this, here's a link for that. And everybody's going to get super overwhelmed by that. So we have to... we have to basically have all this stuff go into one thing. So I'm like, well, how do we do this? Because I don't want it to do anything that it doesn't have to do, because I'm not a programmer. I don't really know enough about this to make anything beyond what it is. So I'm like, well, let's just take a map and then put the probes on it, and let's put the sondes on it, and then put the soundings on it as well. So that's what we did. And it works pretty well so far. I'm pretty happy about that. So I have some stuff with, we'll take a look here in a minute, because I want to look at these, I don't know, showers coming in as well. We might go drive around a little bit. I'm not for sure. what's going on there. But good to see everybody here. I wanted to open this up since this is kind of like the first. Oh no, there's people. This is kind of like the first day of what we've been working toward. So there's a lot of different aspects of this this project, right? We've got the live streaming video, like the camera packs, like what we did last year. There's the storm chasing video aspect of it. There's the data probes, which I've got a couple of with. I didn't bring everything with because we're not doing like a full activation here. This is just more of a, hey, let's test our stuff. This is a good training opportunity for everyone. And then, of course, the weather balloon flights. Because if we just do, I don't know, a weather balloon and do everything off of that, that tells us some data, but it doesn't give us a big picture of things. If we just do the live streaming, that is interesting, but it doesn't give us the big picture of things. Same with the data packs. But if you put them all together into a cohesive plan, then we have it. So I kind of wanted to go live to answer some questions and stuff. I did a really bad job doing this. I should have scheduled this because I don't think anybody you know, had a chance to get their questions submitted or whatever, because I had this idea where it's gonna be like you can just submit your questions and I'll answer them, but I'll try to pay attention to the chat. If you ask a question and I miss it, then ask it 10 more times. I don't know. No, I didn't bring a marker. That's a great question. I didn't bring one, but I am parked at a Walmart. So here, let me show you guys. So oh no, there we go. We back. Sorry about that. So I'll show you guys what we're looking at for the sky here. A huge thank you to everybody that's been part of our mission and everything that we've done. Oh yeah, we'll be out chasing in some capacity here. I was just kind of stalling a minute there because I didn't want to get into any plans here before people had a chance to join in, because otherwise people just end up asking 10 times and it's not their fault, they just miss it. All right, so let's take a look real quick. Man, my phone is getting hot for some reason. Let's take a look real quick at Radar Omega. Okay, so looking at the MRMS. John, that's a very good question, but give me 1 second. MRM, we're going to look at today and then go to some of these questions, and then we'll look at the future days. So this is today. This is MRMS showing, which is basically the National Radar Composite. In Radar Omega, you toggle it on up here. It's MRMS, and then you want reflectivity. So you've got some kind of weak shower activity, which is that coming in. Kind of a stable atmosphere, but it is a little bit hot and humid, so we'll see what happens, but I don't really expect anything. They are saying there could be some bigger hailstones up here in North Oklahoma City between here and Wichita, and we could get some severe storms anywhere all the way up there to St. Louis. But again, I'm not really expecting anything major, and I think that would be later on anyway. Let me turn off general thunderstorms. There we go. That's our level 1 marginal risk. Okay, so how are we disseminating information to the scientific community? That's actually a great question, and let me show you. I just don't want to show you what's on my browser because I don't want to show you my bank. I don't know if my bank information's up or what. But if you go to map.wxeye.org, for example, this is I call this our unified data viewer, because I need something that is just for plotting our data, right? So you can toggle between Celsius and Fahrenheit for you Canadians. This is going to show you all of our active probes. Right now you're seeing one active probe, and it's 301 truck, and it's a picture of a car because that's the data probe that is built into my vehicle. Every 30 seconds, this website will update, but the data is updating every second. So if you need to go back into archive and download it, you can do that. So all of our probes, our sondes and everything, the data is 1 second intervals, and it's downloadable in CSV format. The soundings are downloadable in Sharp format for people like the Weather Service or colleges or anybody trying to plot their own sounding. So if you click on one of our probes, and we're working with Don to get this in Radar Omega 2, it'll show all the current conditions, a little bit of a graph here. This 1 or so degree temperature spike is probably when I stopped the vehicle, the airflow or something, but pressure, all that. And then of course we can click out of that, and if you go over here, I've got the ability to toggle on SPC day 1. Again, that's not to compete with anything, that's just for my own sake of I want to know where we're placing things. And then we just have the garbage PNG version of MRMS, which is not good. So if you want radar, you need to be using Radar Omega. Don't try to use this. But if you go down here to like the archives, so like if I click on 24 and I want the past 24 hours of data, watch this. So I drag the slider and you see how everything moves? It's lagging just a little bit. It's a lot of data to load because I'm on a mobile connection. But we can move around. And if there was a weather balloon flight active, the weather balloon would be synced. You can even load the archived radar on with that, and that's an easy way to get the data. So then also, if you click on soundings, it'll pop up all the soundings. It pops up all the available ones by default, but if there's been one in the past 24 hours, it just pops up automatically. This isn't an app, it's our website. I made this all by myself. So for example, you see these purple dots, they say a time in Zulu and then a date. So for example, 21Z on November 18th, if I click on that sounding, we've got the sounding, the comments that we typed in. You can click on the sounding and make it bigger. And you can go down here to Viewer, SKUT, Sharpie, or CSV. CSV is going to download this in like an Excel sheet. Sharpie is going to download it so you can import it right into Sharpie, SounderPy, MetPy, whatever the hell you want to import it into, AWIPS or whatever. Not AWIPS, BuffKit, whatever. SKUT, if you click on this, this is our interactive SKUT viewer. This is super cool. So I can move the top pressure and zoom in. We can also shift the parcel temperature. So if you want to see, hey, if it warms up 9 degrees, you know, what's our cape going to look like? And you can do that right there, and it plots PWatt values, surface temp, convective temp, and all that information right there on the viewer. That lady nearly hit my truck, which is pretty cool. And then if you click on help, it'll give you a little bit of an intro. But if you click on viewer, this is what you guys know and love, the weather balloon tracking interface, basically. So when a weather balloon, when we're flying one live, this comes in every second with new data, and you can see the temperature and moisture plot, wind speed and altitude, and you can scrub on the timeline and it syncs up with the map, which is super cool. You can go to stats and view the minimum and maximum readings for a flight. The SKUT, this also loads in live as we get data. Obviously this isn't live, but and then the analysis, this is the full Sharpie analysis with a few modifications. Everybody puts the SKUT on the left and the hodograph on the right, but I wanted to be different, so we just inverted them, because why not? And then what's cool, we're making this into like a scrapbook. So if you click on launch info, we're putting in comments about all of this data. So for example, one of them I know that's got some video with it, this one here. So if we scroll down, there's photos and video of the launch that we add, so you can visualize what's going on. Here's a video clip. So we're really trying to make this educational as well as useful, and then it shows obviously the path of the balloon. So that's how we do that. Great question. And obviously our data is available to be imported into like the NSEP stuff as well too, but that's getting beyond the point. I need to get YouTube up, so I got my chat. 11 people. Yeah, oh, there we go. Okay. I was gonna say there's definitely more than 11 people. So if we go to data overlays and severe on Radar Omega, this yellow zone is tomorrow. That's where we're expecting our severe weather to occur tomorrow, anywhere from the southern tip of Illinois into DFW. Now, tomorrow doesn't look that great. With Radar Omega, we can look at things like HRRR, and then, sorry, I'm trying to do this and hold the camera. It's not super easy. We're just going to look at composite reflectivity. So here's some storms going up at like 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm not really feeling that. Midnight. Definitely not going to bother with that. Could be some hail with it. Tomorrow, storms kind of go up, sort of, by 7 p.m. But man, they don't look very good. They look really disorganized and sloppy. So we'll keep an eye on those. And then they progress as kind of multi-cells in a cluster of storms all the way through Thursday afternoon. I want to switch over to the NAM. I gotta scroll the chat real quick because my website looks vaguely similar to every other website out there. I couldn't tell you. I thought it was pretty unique and pretty nice, but that's all right. You got your opinion. Put a lot of work into it, that's for sure. A lot of sleepless nights, but there's our severe weather risk for day 3, which is going to be, what's today? Monday? No, Tuesday. Thursday. So anybody in this yellow circle, this slight risk on Thursday, could see some severe weather. I think hail and wind are going to be the main risks. It was looking like possibly some tornadoes, but we're going to struggle, I think, to see supercells initially. The storms are going to want to try to cluster together into like a line. So we might have less of a chance of supercells. Wow, look at the NAM model, though. Tonight at 6 is putting some storms down there on I-44. We need to watch that. But anyway, if we progress this into tomorrow, shows nothing. Or into Thursday, it shows nothing. What's going on here? So NAM shows like nothing on Thursday, but I don't believe that. We'll probably have some storms fire up here east of Amarillo, east of Lubbock, maybe around 3, 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the afternoon. Some of the models were showing as early as like 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and then some of them were showing as late as like 9 or 10 o'clock at night. Now the NAM isn't showing anything, so take it with a grain of salt. I'm not going to start calling out a timeline right now this many days ahead of time, because you know how that goes. The link for donating isn't working. What are you talking about? Should be. I'll check it. You're saying the link for donating's not working. I don't know why it wouldn't be. It's just it's not my link. I swear to God, it's not my fault. Hang on. No, it's working. It just must be your internet. I don't know. Weird. But anyway, it's definitely working. But anyway, the audio is terrible. Cool, man. That's so are you. You're the expert on terrible. But anyway, this is the zone that we're going to be targeting. Probably, I would say, kind of the southern half of this zone on Thursday. And then let me get the model data off of there. I'm just going to pick tropical, and this is kind of a life hack I do, and then just don't select one, and then it just clears everything. You go into severe weather, and day 4, they've got the equivalent of an enhanced risk for parts of Oklahoma into Missouri there. Another chaser launched a balloon. Of course they did. I told you that was going to happen. Anyway, from Oklahoma, southeast Kansas, and northwest Missouri, that's kind of our hot zone. But I'm telling you guys, I really would love to stay out of southeast Kansas and western Missouri. Not that there's anything wrong with that area, but it's just, I don't know. The roads, there's good roads, but usually you've got northeast moving storms, and it's kind of hard. You've got these little lakes and these kind of squirrely roads. It's really can be picky. So can eastern Oklahoma, but I shouldn't be picky. It's March and we're getting a chance to do something. But this is not like the best chasing terrain in the world. But I tell you what, it's a heck of a lot better than what we've had in the past for a while. So, but we could see storms as far northeast as Wisconsin, as far south as like Waco, Texas. So we just got to be watching these as they kind of roll in. So there's a look at the sky right now. It doesn't look super bad. Yeah, I'm trying to pay attention to the chat. It's just I got like 30 things on the I think what I need to do is get another phone and have another phone mounted somewhere in here and just have that sit on the chat so we don't have to split screen. The severe weather potential for southwest Wisconsin, I don't know. I mean, I haven't really looked. Probably not very much. I can show you guys some of the equipment here if you want. I know that came up at one point here. I think it's about to rain. Let me look at Radar Omega quick, 'cause I need to see if it's going to rain. Because if it's about to rain, then we need to do that now. It might rain. Oh my God. All right, so if you guys want, we can go take a look at some equipment. That would be cool. I have no idea what the weather is in Champaign. No clue. No idea. I'm in Oklahoma. I don't have a clue. I gotta find my hat. All right, okay, so I got my hat. Let me get a tripod. And hopefully not attract a ton of attention. Hold on, audio's gonna change. Let me get a tripod. Oh great, there's a lot of people. Walmart parking lot might not be the best place for this. This is the same one we were at right before that ice storm it's probably a month and a half ago now. I think Thursday is going to be the day, if that makes sense. Okay, so before anybody throws a fit, because I know everybody gets really sensitive about this, I've been stopped here for a while, and I have removed the transport cap from the cylinders plural, for demonstration purposes, and I have moved some around for demonstration purposes. So I just have to add that, because folks are trying to get me canceled out here for the dumbest stuff ever. So let me try to get you guys in frame. God dang it, how can I do this? I almost need to put you guys down there. Okay, so there's a couple of things here. I need to fix that. So that we got with us, that I bring with. This is going to get replaced with a Pelican case. I'm actually about to go to Harbor Freight and buy one. But, so this is our filler hose for large balloons, like the 200s and 350s. I don't keep this connected because we don't use it very much. This goes in the balloon and fills up, and then we put our lifting gas in it. This is the inflator for our smaller one. This actually has a this itself is a regulator. It's set at 80 psi fixed, and then we've got a pressure gauge on there so we know when the tank's running down. And this one's nicer because it's got this spinning coupler on it, versus the other one where you have to like manually thread it in. And then we got 15 feet of hose, and this is the diameter of the neck of the smaller 100 gram balloons that we use. And then this kind of gives us a way to stretch it out away from the vehicle, so we can get away from the vehicle to do it. I carry string. We use cotton string. The reason the Weather Service uses cotton string is because it's, you know, not going to create a spark or whatever. No static discharge or buildup, because they're typically using hydrogen systems. But we use cotton mainly because it's biodegradable and it's cheap. I paid like $4 for that. I got a couple of different weights. These weigh the exact amount of lift that we need. So smaller balloon, bigger balloon. We attach this to the balloon, and when they start getting picked up, we know that we have enough lifting gas in the balloon to actually send the balloon up at the proper rate. All right, so these are actual latex 100-gram balloons. We get about 65 to 70,000 feet out of these. Smaller, cheaper, easier to handle, colored. Black ones and red ones and white ones. So the colors, white ones at night, red and black are good during the day. The red ones are really good for winter, I've found. The black ones are really good just when you've got cloudy skies and you want to be able to see it on camera. And then all of our 200-gram balloons, which are the big ones, well, bigger, are white. And so are our 350s. I carry a couple of glow sticks for night launches, and then orange tape just because I can see it and then I don't forget that it's there, and when I drop it on the ground I can find it. Because when we insert one of the fill hoses into the neck of the balloon, we have to tape it off so it doesn't leak, and then we remove the tape when we're ready to launch. I also carry electrical tape because I found that the electrical tape works really well in the wet. So if we're trying to launch in the rain, the duct tape won't stick. The electrical tape won't stick, but it will stick to itself, so you can almost wrap it around and kind of just like choke itself off with it. So we'll use that when it's wet. And then I carry, right now I've got 3 radio sondes with me. Normally we would have like 50, but we're not doing a full operation here, so I just brought a few. And then depending on the type of launch that we do, we have parachutes as well. Those are mainly if we're going to launch over a population center, just to kind of, it's more of a courtesy than a requirement, because that radio sonde only weighs 100 grams. It's very, very lightweight. So that's kind of some of the equipment that I brought with for this purpose. And again, this was all funded by us and you guys. Again, there's way more. This is just a little sample. And I carry zip ties too, because sometimes the string just doesn't work out when it's really windy, and it's just easier to get a zip tie on there and then cut the tail off. So that's why I carry those. It's kind of just a backup option. And then there's a cap. This is kind of a this is that stake that we made the other night. Works really well with one of our sensors on it for deployment without a pole or a post. And then it goes into this brain box, this data box. This has an 80 or 70,000 milliamp hour battery in it. And the brains are in here. And this gives us data wherever we want it. And obviously there's going to be dozens of these, including ones that don't require the stake, available out here while we're operating. I just brought one of the stakes with, and then 3 of the ones that don't use a stake. That's what I brought with. And then in here I'll do it so that somebody sees me do it, because people don't believe me. But we use helium as a lifting gas for our gas of choice, because there's really nothing else we can use. Hydrogen would blow up. And then on the roof there I have one of our sensors. That's that white thing. That's how you're getting data off the vehicle. And then the antenna in the middle is the UHF receiver for the radio sonde. Well, I shouldn't say the UHF receiver, that's just an antenna. The receiver's under the seat. But that's the UHF antenna for the receiver. Be careful on the info you give out to others, as they'll claim it as their idea. Oh, I know, I've witnessed that already, but there's living, breathing proof of where it came from, so I'm covered. But anyway, so the receiver lives under the back seat, and the reason that we have to use a very high quality antenna like that is there's a lot of RF and electromagnetic noise from the vehicle, specifically the ignition system on this truck on UHF. Another thing that creates a lot of noise are the audio range extenders, because I think they operate really close to that 400. I think they're at like 380 or something megahertz. I don't know. But we end up with a lot of just kind of noise trying to compete, because this is a very weak signal. When we're picking it up from 100 miles away, it's very weak. And it's kind of competing with artificial noise that's basically kind of like just a nuisance signal, if that makes sense. So we have to have that antenna, and it has to not be a magnetic mount antenna. Our portable receivers, I do have a magnet antenna that we can give people to use, but it doesn't work good enough that we want to run it all the time, because those magnetic antennas don't have a true ground. We have to actually have a ground where the antenna is coupled to the truck, because an antenna, like the vertical wire part of the antenna, that's only half the antenna. The other half of the antenna is the ground plane. So the way that these radio frequency antennas work, at least when they're transmitting, that up and down part, that's your positive, that's your radiating element, and then whatever it's on, the flat surface, that's its ground plane. And then you get your donut shaped waveform to come out kind of like this, where there's a null directly above it. So for example, if our balloon is directly above it, we probably wouldn't pick it up, but it almost never would be, because it goes downwind, right? So you get that donut shape kind of like that. If this is the antenna, this is your pattern kind of going out like that, like a donut, and with the dead spot, the null at the top. And then that ground plane helps kind of direct the RF, the radio frequency. Now we're not transmitting from that. We're just receiving from that antenna. So it doesn't matter as much, but where it really matters is having it grounded. So the mount that's on actually drills through the roof, and then it's attached physically to the steel sheet metal. So it has a good body ground with the vehicle. So we don't loops, we don't have EMI. It's a much cleaner signal. So for example, like the single board Linux computer that's the ground station, that thing is grounded to the vehicle's electric. The antenna is grounded to the vehicle's electric. Everything else in this truck is grounded to the vehicle's electric. So it gives everything a common solid ground. So it keeps us basically as quality and clean as we can be anyway. So that's why we do that. And that's why it's such a pain in the ass. Because, for example, if I use one of our magnet antennas, because I've got those portable Pelican cases for receivers, those temporary ones I was showing you the other day, we can pick this thing up maybe 30, 40 miles out, which is enough. But anything beyond that, you just can't, especially if a vehicle's running. If the vehicle's turned off, yeah, maybe. But it's just, I'm not having any luck unless you've got a true proper antenna. And I think that it's just, we're receiving a very low signal. I don't know what the actual dBm, the decibel value is on this signal when it comes in, but it's extremely low. It's weak when it's 100 to 150 miles away. You have to have everything working well. They comment about everybody hating me. So one of the things I'm going to say super fast, I'm going to limit myself to like 30 seconds on this. What I'm doing right now is educating folks, and there's almost 300 people interested in this topic right now. To come in here and talk about something like that is kind of inappropriate, right? Because I don't really care what anybody else thinks, because we're the only ones doing this in this capacity, and we're more focused, certainly me, are more focused on what we're doing versus what other people think of us. So I don't really care. It'd be nice if we could focus on this, I guess. That would be cool. But the reason that another reason that I don't like using those magnetic antennas with those portable receivers, which really sucks, because my thought was, don't even install anything permanent on a vehicle. Wasn't even going to bother. It's like, just give everybody a portable receiver, magnet antenna. When you're going to launch a radio sonde, reach out the window, stick the magnet up there, go for it. But we get the data all the way up to like roughly, like, let's just say 40 miles out. That's plenty, because usually by the time it's 40 miles out, that thing's usually past 300 millibars. We've got a full sounding. But I don't want to waste the data. These things are expensive. And if the Sonde is going to keep going for another 40 miles, I keep sending back data, it's not as useful of data because it's really high up in the sky. We really care about that low level data. But if it's going to send back that data, I mean, we're paying for it. We might as well use it. So I want to receive it. So yeah, some people out here might be using a portable receiver with the magnet antenna. Like for example, some our contractors, volunteer staff, whatever, that come out here that aren't necessarily able to have a permanent system on their vehicle due to cost, vehicle limitations, just the fact that it doesn't make sense to drill holes and mount stuff on their vehicle to come out for 3 weeks out of the year. Um, Things like that. Um, it doesn't make sense to do a full install on someone's vehicle. They will use a portable station with the magnet mount. It's good enough. It works. But the majority of these launches come from my vehicle or Zach's vehicle, so we have permanent infrastructure on mine and Zach's. I do not have a return address info on the Sondes. Number one, I don't want them back. I really don't. Um, it would be cool if I could get one of them back. Like, we could go chase one of them down, but I haven't done it yet. Just haven't had a reason or had time to. But um, it would be cool, though, if somebody does find one, to take a picture of it, send me the picture. But I don't put a return address on it because I don't. They're junk when they're done. They're done. So I can't. If we fly 150 of these this year, and let's say somebody finds 100 of them, I don't know what I'm going to do if 100 of these things start showing up at my office. No, we get no funding from the government. No. This is basically us and crowdfunding, which is cool when you think about it. What size balloons? That is a good question. So, yes. So, 100s, 150s, 200s, and 350s. This Sonde is super light. The spec says 120 grams. I weighed it. It says 110. Whatever. Between 100 and 120 grams. We'll call it 110. It's really light, so it doesn't take much to get it up there. So we're not really limited by the payload, the neck lift capacity of the balloon. We're limited to how much gas can we put in the balloon and not have it burst before we want it to burst. So we're definitely limited by the balloon. The 100s we're consistently getting 65,000 feet with, which is nuts because I think the specification from Kmont on them is like 48,000 feet roughly. We're getting 65. So that just shows you that it's a really good quality balloon, the natural latex ones. The Chinese balloons, the Woyis or whatever they are, terrible. It's more of a plasticky rubber, and same with the Indian balloons. I forgot the name of that manufacturer, but basically there's like 3 manufacturers for those of you guys that don't know. There's the Japanese company, which we use, the Chinese company, and the Indian company. And people really don't like the Chinese company because of the quality of the balloon. And there's a reason that the NWS and none of these colleges are really using that. It's more of a hobbyist balloon. So we use the actual natural latex rubber ones because then it's biodegradable, so we're leaving a smaller carbon footprint. Same reason I use the cotton string. With that said, the only advantage of a 150 over the 100 for us is consistency. Sometimes, depending on condition, a lot of it's temperature, especially in the winter. For us, a lot of our consistency is between 58,000 and 70,000 feet for a 100. It's almost always 65, but if we have a reason where we really, 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 really want to know we're going to go to 65,000 feet guaranteed, the 150 gets us there. It's smaller than the 250 or the 200, a little bit less helium. But typically we don't. We go with a 200. The nice thing is the 100 uses almost 20 cubic feet of helium, whereas the 200 uses 31. So we save 11 cubic feet. So we save a lot of money. Hey, thanks for the super chat. Who was that? Diana, I appreciate it. So we save a lot of helium. It's not the cost of the balloon that I really care about because they're all very similar in cost. It's the helium that's expensive. So we go from like $80 worth of helium to like $45 per launch doing that. So we try to launch the 200s when we want to go to 80,000 feet consistently. The 200s with that sonde consistently go to 80,000 feet. Sometimes they go higher. I think we had one go to 92. The 350s, the 350s will get us over 100,000 feet consistently, guaranteed. The 350s also offer us stability with the parachute. Like if we're going to launch and we know the thing's going to drop in a populated area and we want to put a chute on it, with the 350, I know that we're going to get at least 90,000 with a parachute, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So we mostly use 100s, the 200s, and the 350s. They kind of supplement us. But that's the nice thing about running a really lightweight sonde is we don't have to compensate with a bigger balloon and things like that. So that's that. So a lot of the other balloon manufacturers are more for like hobbyists and stuff. The only ones that we actually have been able to consistently use without issue are the K-Mont balloons, basically. I'm excited to see the data too. God, I am way behind in this, aren't I? So, good questions coming in. And so, obviously, we're reaching our target audience because there's obviously people in here who know a little bit about balloons and stuff. Because we're getting, the questions about it. So, the the thing with what we're doing is it's very expensive, but it's very valuable. We can use social media and the crowdfunding to kind of offset that, and then it gives us like kind of a fun science project to do, and it also gives you guys entertainment, and it also gives data, which is good. But we don't have a lot of options for sondes. There's like 2 manufacturers for commercial sondes we can use. Intermet is definitely the ones to use, but there's a French company too. The French company is just kind of hard to work with. I think it's kind of just more of it is a partial language barrier, and then it's also a partial, like a culture difference. They're very set in their ways and set in their stone with how they want to sell you these, what they want to include, etc. How many they want to ship you, how they want to ship them to you. And I just found that it was really tough for me to work with. Intermet ships out of the U.S. They're in the U.S. I call them on the phone, talk to them. There's nothing wrong with the French company. Those are very good sondes, and they're even lighter, so you can use a smaller balloon. I think you could actually even use a 50-gram balloon with one of those, but it'd even be iffy. But it was just really hard because we don't have big resources, so I can't just say, hey, here's $50,000, send me a pallet of these things. Like, I have to order kind of in increments. And they didn't really want to do that, which is okay. But it's also a pain in the butt to get this crap shipped from France to here, especially when you kind of need it on a time schedule. So I don't know. We're a little bit locked with what we can do, but thankfully we've got a good option for suppliers. None of what we're doing when it comes to the data or anything. I think it was Amber with the super chat. Thanks, Amber. Some of the issues that we faced when we did this was there's really only one way for like people that don't have a ground station to use this data is to go to SondeHub and get the SondeHub receiver and do that. But SondeHub is more of a hobbyist tracking thing. Like, I can't look at Cape values on there. I can't look at shear. I can't do anything when it comes to like research, science, or forecasting. It's mainly for tracking, and that's perfectly fine. We love SondeHub. We're going to financially donate to SondeHub. So what we do is we donate our data to SondeHub. We push our data over to SondeHub because there are a lot of hobbyists who like to track and then go hunt these down using SondeHub. That's our way of like giving back to the communities. But we had no way to like run our own soundings and all that stuff. So we had to develop this API and all this backend on our own, um, which has been a pain and a lot of figuring out. Let's put it that way. It has been a nightmare for the past few months to figure out because I didn't really know anything about how this stuff works under the hood. These things transmit Bell 202 telemetry, so we had to basically make a software defined receiver. We used the AirSpy. That we had to make an SDR decode Bell 202, which I don't know if it's like an open source thing or not. I don't know, maybe I just violated a license. I have no idea. But we were able to use AI to actually help us. So what I did is I used non-discriminated audio. We used purely raw audio of non-filtered, pure raw audio of Bell 202, of known Bell 202 data. And then we actually ran it through AI, and then we found the patterns. And I actually think it is an open source thing, and I probably over-engineered it. But we made a Bell 202 decoder that works with AirSpy, and then we take that data, we calculate on the device. So back up a bit, the Sonde doesn't really send us anything. It's just kind of a paperweight. It's like a thermometer with a radio on it. It doesn't really calculate anything. It sends us temperature, humidity, pressure, and then GPS. That's it. So it doesn't send us wind and it doesn't send us dew point. So what we have to do is we have to take the temperature and the humidity, and then we calculate dew point. So it does that on the receiver. It puts them in single line JSON. So it'll say temperature equals, dew point equals, pressure equals, GPS, latitude, longitude equals, altitude equals. The server, the API, then says, okay, GPS point A and point B calculates the difference, so the speed and direction between both of them, and that's how we're getting the wind speed and direction. But then we have to go back and clean that data, because when we factor in that data into our SQT or our sounding, and especially the freaking hodograph, but like the SQT, for example, if I power that thing on and it's in my hand, they're so sensitive that it will be 3 or 4 degrees warmer. We're going to get horrible data and CAPE values, because you're going to have, oh, it's 3 degrees warmer than it actually is. Wow, there's a lot of CAPE. So we have to actually run an algorithm that detects, hey, this thing is on the ground, or this thing is in flight. So we have to filter that out. And it's not as easy as looking at a rising motion, because we need that data at the ground. We need that data starting at 5 feet off of the ground. So we can't just say, hey, anything below 100 feet. It's not that easy. We have to actually look at a couple of different things, like, is the pressure dropping while the altitude is increasing? If it's not flying, it's on the ground. Has this thing moved X amount of meters up and down in X amount of time? So just walking it around doesn't trip it. And then when the balloon bursts and it starts free falling, we have to ignore that data too, because we only want the ascending data, the data going up. That's the only data we can use. So we have to clean that before it goes in, especially the hodograph data. So what sucks with the hodograph is we can't really plot or factor in the wind at the surface. The only way we could do that is if we looked at an anemometer and got like basically our own like METAR, like our own ground station, which we can do, but it's really complicated. Unless we have that surface observation, we have to actually ignore some of the data close to the ground because it's dirty. Because when we launch it, that Sonde is on a 100 to 200 foot string, so it's just like swinging back and forth. So you've got 200 feet of travel, and that's really skewing your wind data. And there's also issues where you've got like flow pattern over and under buildings and everything. So we don't even look at the first 15 meters of data from the surface. So we look at the surface altitude, and then we ignore the first 15 meters, which is a little bit, it's roughly 50 feet. 50 feet and under, we've got no data. 15 meters to 50 meters. So like, I don't know, all the way up to like roughly, 160 or so feet. Everything under that is heavily scrutinized. If it's dirty and if it's problematic, like if it looks noisy, like 1 second the wind speed is 30 miles an hour. The next second it's reporting a 2-mile-an-hour wind speed, and then it's back to 50. If it's really erratic, it recognizes that and it doesn't even try to smooth it. It throws it away, and then it actually flags this. It flags the sounding and the hodograph that, hey, this is dirty, we're omitting it, and then it will not calculate like the surface to 3 kilometer parameters and such. We don't want to just infer it or interpolate it because that could give bad data. We just say, all right, screw it, we don't have it, it just didn't work this time, we're done. Ignore it. Use everything else, but ignore that surface layer. And it notes it right on the sounding. It will say surface data omitted, dirty data, or whatever. And then just plot as not applicable, which is fine. You still get the rest of it, which is usually enough. But the cleaning of it is really, really hard. And that was our biggest feat, because we have to smooth the hodograph data. Otherwise, your hodograph literally looks like somebody drew a jagged line. Those nice curves, that's heavily smoothed data. And it's just what you have to do. Otherwise, you can't read it. It's really a lot of engineering, software engineering that went into it. Way more than what should have had to. I'm looking at the chat right now. God, I am like 3 hours behind in this chat. How do we decide when and where? Well, obviously we're targeting severe weather environments. So we're trying to do this where there's no other weather balloon launch, like for example, in areas where the Weather Service isn't launching or they haven't launched for a few hours, and preferably in inflow or in close proximity to severe weather that's either ongoing or about to ongo. This is a very targeted mission where we don't really care about the overall environment. We care about more micro scale than we do meso scale. Yeah, we're going to do it during hurricanes for sure. Yeah, thanks for joining in, everybody. Am I chasing tomorrow? I don't know, Nicholas. Maybe. It doesn't look like much now. Thursday and Friday are going to be the days. I think, the big days. I think. Thursday and Friday. There are no FAA requirements for what we do. This is a class whatever balloon. It's under 4 pounds. It's not. I mean, I guess if there was a helicopter flying 30 feet away, I couldn't launch it, but it's no different than the Weather Service launching balloons. People have actually turned us into the FAA, which is hilarious, and then I've gotten called by the FAA to tell me that I'm not doing anything wrong. Like, it's been that bad. I don't know why people keep calling us in. It's like, you wouldn't call the Weather Service in. Well, maybe they do. They probably have called the Weather Service in. Who knows with these people? Temperature is dropping, though, in the shade. We're down to 60-something degrees. I would launch one right now, but this stuff's really expensive, and there's really nothing that we would gain from launching right now. So we're trying to reserve resources, because this week is like our test week. We're operating as if this were our full operations in April, May, June, and July. Obviously, we didn't bring everybody out for it. It's just me and maybe 2 or 3 others here and there. But it's enough for us to test all of our systems and things like that. It's just we're not really... It would be fun to launch one now and demonstrate the data, but we can do that tomorrow or the next day whenever it warrants. So, yeah, I can launch them where a no-fly area has nothing to do with an unmanned free balloon. So, no, I don't... It's no different than the Weather Service or anybody else. It's no different than literally letting go of a party balloon. It's essentially the same thing. It's an unmanned free balloon under 4 pounds. There's no NOTAM required. There's no air traffic control clearance required. It is just an object, unmanned and uncontrolled. It's just a free floating thing that they see it as. Big balloons, you would have to file a NOTAM for, like something. I think it has to be over 4 pounds is where you have to have some sort of a NOTAM. But we're nowhere near that. I mean, we're 100 gram. I mean, a couple 100 grams. Less than your iPhone. You know, there's a bunch of. Can I speak to your manager people online? Oh, I've been there, done that. Thanks, Joe, for the super chat. I think it was Joe. But it is a hell of a. Sorry, something weird's going on over here. It is a hell of an operation. I agree. It is. Wow, we've gotten 7 super chats. Thanks, guys. I appreciate that a lot. That helps. Thanks for giving us a good start here to the month. But it is a lot, and that's why I stress how appreciative of the audience I am, because without the audience, we wouldn't be doing this. We just wouldn't be able to. I mean, it's the support and the encouragement that's always nice to see. There's a red flag warning out tomorrow. Or no, that's today. Trackers. 55, 67. Hey, thanks for your super chat. I'm hoping it's our first West Texas launch. I hope that day doesn't go to trash, because I don't know what these kids are doing, but they're acting like their parents didn't do a good job. But I'm hoping that we get out there and it's a nice time. I'm definitely ready to be back out here. So yeah, we'll be streaming, so you can watch the live streams, YouTube, Facebook, and then Radar Omega. Which I will mention too, in Radar Omega, there's a different there's a toggle, a specific, so you can toggle the storm chasing and the cyclone port separately now. So be mindful of that if you're looking for that setting. I'm looking right now kind of at here, I'll give you a look at the sky. I'm looking right now kind of at what we've got going on. I haven't looked at the radar. Give me a minute. Where'd my radar go? There it is. Oh, this damn thing. There we go. It's clicking the wrong thing. That's why. I don't really. Wow, it's 49 degrees up there on Woodward. Are you freaking kidding me? Oh my god. Is a little cold front coming through or what? I mean, I was kind of stalling a little bit here because it was like, man, there might be a chance at firing up some sort of a storm chase operation here. But God, I don't know. The NAM model, and I think that's the only model. I think the NAM model shows some storms possibly as early as 5 p.m., but I'm about to call garbage on that because I don't see that happening. So we'll have to see. I'll wait. We're gonna drag this out another half hour, 45 minutes, and then we'll make a call. But I don't know what to do with tomorrow either. Tomorrow don't look that great, in all honesty. It is a bit of a drive from the target area tomorrow to the target area the next day. So I'm really kind of wondering if we're just going to end up writing off tomorrow and going for the next day. That's typical. You start off and you're like, oh, we're going to get 4 days of severe weather, and then it goes down to 2. That wouldn't be the first time. But I think Thursday and Friday, there might be something into Saturday, but Thursday and Friday should be our days. Am I headed north? I have no idea where I'm going on Friday. It's too early to even think about calling the shots for that. I've got no idea. We'll figure it out when it happens, I guess. Yeah, it is nice to be back out here. This is kind of our first decent chance at some storms and really doing this sort of thing for months. It's honestly been months. I can't believe what a weird winter it's been. Is the Old Stone Walmart a tractor supply? I have no idea if that's where the Walmart used to be or not. I have no idea. Maybe it was. I mean, it's the right size, but I don't know. I have no idea if that was a Walmart or not. No clue. I am just looking to see what I missed. At 20 New Zealand dollars. We appreciate it. Thanks for the super chat. What is your currency in New Zealand? Let me look it up. What is an NZ? What is New Zealand currency? Oh, it's just New Zealand dollar. Well, that's boring. Like I thought maybe you had like a like Mexico's got pesos and I don't know, China has rupees or something. I don't know. I thought maybe you had a word. No, you're just New Zealand dollars. That's disappointing. I figured you'd have some sort of exciting thing down there for it. Like kangaroo bucks or something, I don't know. Kangaroo coupons. That's 20 kangaroo coupons. I'll take it. But thanks for supporting everyone. I mean, it's been it's been a lot of work and a lot of fun though. We've learned a lot. We got a good team out here, a good group, and I was just really excited to show you guys that map that I built. And again, it's not an app. It's not out there to be a weather app. It's out there to be just a way to look at our data. It's going to be really cool when we have like for example, we do a Sonde launch and we've got 20 probes out to be able to watch the archived radar move through and then watch everything move around and look at the data as it moves around. That's going to be really, really cool. I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to look at our Cloudflare real quick. I just want to see if we've had a data traffic spike at all today, because today I shared the link today. Oh yeah, yeah. There's wow. In the past 7 days, there's been 5,097 views, and they're not bots. It's Cloudflare. It's all sorted. Okay, well that's cool. Starting to sprinkle a little bit out here. Oh, I thought it would be nice if maybe we would get a little storm to pop off or something, but I don't know, man. It's questionable. I just want to do something, you know? Like, I left the office yesterday. Turns out I didn't even, I could have left, I could be leaving right now and still not be late for anything. Like, I left a day early, apparently. But that's okay. I'd rather be down here early than late. Because you end up late and you can't get ahead. I don't have a marker though. But yeah, somebody asked earlier. I don't have a marker to write names on the Sans. I will get that. I am at a Walmart. I could probably go in right now, but nah. I will get one. Maybe I'll get a purple one or something. But yeah, I gotta get a Sharpie. I tried a pen, but the pen just wipes off. The Sharpie does stick. I tell you what, it's about to be dinner time though. My God, I can't believe it's 5 o'clock already. But I tell you, it's been nice out today though. It's only supposed to be 50 out here tomorrow. But yeah, I'm really looking at the Texas Panhandle and then West Texas region. Thursday, Friday. I am really, really interested in Thursday because I love chasing out that way. Even if the storms are kind of cruddy, I'll take it. You know. Plus, it gives us a chance to launch a balloon, put a couple of probes out. I didn't bring any of the live streaming ones with because I just didn't want to load up the vehicle with more than I needed. But we already know those work. Those don't need any testing. I mean, we already know everything else works too. I just want to see it all work together once just so I can kind of sign off on it and be like, all right, we got it, we're done. Yeah, I definitely won't make it to Fort Stockton for this, but I tell you what, I I sure as hell wouldn't be against it. But yeah, it won't be long for that again. What do we think in probably a couple weeks, honestly? Yeah, I like it down there. Um, I was just looking at Sonde Hub right now to see if NWS launched a Sonde yet, and they haven't. I was gonna say we could try to receive their Sonde and maybe go after it. I don't know. That'd be something different to do. Go chase down a Sonde or something. I don't know. Because they'll have their next one will be out of Norman. Will be at 0Z, so 2 hours. But sometimes they go a little early or a little late. Yeah, I think everything's going to go well. I mean, that is a good question. I mean, it's the first time anybody's asked me that, honestly. Got asked if I think things are going to work out with everything, and nobody ever asked me that. I think people just assume that I think everything's going to work great, but no, everything so far. We know that the ground stations work for the radio sons. We know that the website works, the data works, the functions work, the probes work. It's just I want to see them all work together so we can start talking about it, getting a little bit of excitement going, spreading the word, because this is a very undervalued thing. A lot of people don't know about it. Um, it should be getting more attention than it's getting. So, I mean, but we have to start doing more out here to really showcase that, and it's that time of the year where we can start doing that. So I'm really really looking forward to the opportunity. But yeah, I'm just sitting here in Edmond, Oklahoma, and there is definitely a not zero chance that we could have some sort of a storm chase, but it's kind of looking less likely now. Yeah, I'm really just thankful we've got something to do. So I don't know. Thursday is going to be the day, probably. We're definitely not looking at a outbreak of severe weather here. But I do think that this is the most robust chance of really anything that we've had in a long time. And again, Friday could be storms anywhere from down here all the way up to Iowa. So who's to say that Thursday we might drive from Elk City, Oklahoma, all the way up to, I don't know, Omaha. I mean, who knows? It might be a hell of a commute to get up there. Because we have to be a little bit early because these uh these doing operations like what we're doing, if you're not at least a couple of hours early, you can't do them. There's just no way to play catch up. Once you've fallen behind, you can't because you've got to be ahead of this. You need time. You got to be there early, which is why I always say I'd rather be early than late. Sometimes it really sucks to be that early though, because you basically just sit there like we're doing now. But I will tell you that the aspect of sitting there and dealing with that for a little while versus being late and being upset because you couldn't do anything definitely outweighs it. So let's put it that way. Somebody asked about Perryton, Texas. That's northern Panhandle, right? I gotta look. Yeah. I mean, yeah, Thursday. But again, I don't even know. Because some of the models are showing Thursday kind of being a little bit cruddy now. Yesterday, the models were showing Thursday being a really, really robust chance for some serious severe weather. Now they're kind of looking a little cruddy. Now they're kind of going back to looking a little better. I don't know. I don't know what Thursday is going to bring. I'll probably just go west on I-40 and start off in like Elk City or something. But I mean, really, it could be anywhere from Midland to like Dodge City. So like Midland, Texas, up to Dodge City, Kansas. So pretty big area there to watch. Anyway, yeah, I'm just looking at something here. What in the frick? Weird. So I don't know. Oh, something I should mention too. If you go to our website, wxeye.org, and then you click in the top right on progress updates, uh, we're back to making blog posts. So we typically just do this during organized operations. So I made one today, so you can subscribe, put your email in. We don't sell your email. You're not going to get spam. The most you're going to get is one email per day in the mornings. We do a kind of like a plan. So today I put out an email or a blog post, which you can read on the website, basically just kind of showing what's going on these couple of days. So it's free, doesn't cost anything, and like I said, you're not like sent advertisements or anything like that. I do need to redo the website a little bit. The homepage is a little bit screwy. The formatting is a little bit messed up somehow, and I don't know why. What is this guy doing? I don't even know where I'm going to stay tonight because tomorrow tomorrow looks not good either. Tomorrow might just be an after dark thing, and we might just have to accept that. I don't know. Let me see here. SPC. I know that. Oh. SPC says a mid-level shortwave trough now over Colorado will progress eastward and reach the mid-Mississippi Valley by early Thursday in response to an amplifying wave upstream of the Great Basin, California. Associated weak surface front. Oh my God, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't matter. There we go. Boundary dew points in the 60s will be prevalent along and south of the front by tomorrow, given the returning moisture already present from southeast Oklahoma into Mississippi. The low-level moistening will occur beneath the eastern extent of an elevated mix layer with 7 to 8 degrees Celsius per kilometer of lapse rates, which is basically the temperature decrease with height. Per 12Z soundings across the southern plains, surface heating and cloud breaks will contribute to CAPE around 1,000 joules, which diminishing convective inhibition, that sounds kind of cruddy. Elevated convection, which is trash, could be ongoing at the start of the period across southeast Kansas and northeast Oklahoma in a zone of low-level warm advection. So that's just basically like showers and just general thunderstorms. Storms will spread east-northeastward through the day toward southeast Missouri, southern Illinois, and vicinity, while additional storms are probable along the front during the afternoon and evening. So that's from central and north Texas into eastern Oklahoma. Deep layer and low-level vertical shear will be sufficient for storm clusters and some supercell structures by late afternoon, closer to the path of the weak cyclone, blah, blah, blah. So, southern Missouri, where there will be a potential for large hail damaging gusts and a couple of tornadoes. Interesting. We will not find ourselves in southern Missouri. That would be a horrible logistics because we would have to go back up to Joplin and then over. I'm not doing that. And then it makes it hard to get to Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. There is a chance that tomorrow could just be a wash. It is what it is. Because it is starting to look like it could be a little bit more of an after dark garbage thing. Like, potentially actually kind of garbage. My standards are pretty low right now, too, so it takes a lot for me to say that it might kind of not be great. Are there going to be any towns that get destroyed? Hold on, let me get my crystal ball. Shit, I forgot it. Damn. No, but what the heck? What's this? Holy smokes, I got a bunch of email spam that just came in. Whoa, boy, what the hell? I have a package that cleared customs. That's that stuff we ordered on AliExpress or whatever, whatever the heck it is the other night. Those temperature sensors. So I don't know. What are you guys up to? I did laundry last night. That was cool, I guess. That actually was one heck of an experience too, because the laundry machine at the hotel, the door wouldn't there was a front loader and it wouldn't unlock even though it was off. So I pulled the machine out and it weighed about 1,000 freaking pounds. And then I unplugged it and plugged it back in and it still wouldn't unlock. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning at this point. I want my clothes because literally every piece of clothing that I had was in that washing or the laundry machine. So I go get the front desk lady and I'm like, hey lady, the laundry machine's not giving me my clothes. And she's like, I'll have to call maintenance. And I'm like, oh, that's okay, whatever. And she asked what room I was in. So I told her. And I figured like maintenance was going to be like maybe an hour tops. Like an hour, it's now like 1:15 in the morning. And I went back down there. I was like, hey, what's going on? Oh, yeah, the maintenance will be here at 10 o'clock. And I'm like, a.m.? She's like, yeah. I'm like, I'm going to be long gone by 10 o'clock a.m. And I was like, I need my clothes. I was like, I'm really not trying to be that guy, but I need my clothes. Like, I've got like sweatpants on and a sweatshirt. I'm like, I don't even have any clothes to put on to go outside. Like, I need my clothes. And I kind of argued with her for a minute because I was like, I can't. I was like, I don't really expect them to show up right now, but I can't because it's going to take maintenance an hour to figure out how to unlock this thing anyway. So I should have live streamed it, but she was breathing down my neck the whole time. So she gave me permission to break it. So I came out here and I got my big freaking screwdriver and I stuck the screwdriver in the door and I just started yanking on it and I broke the door and I got my clothes out. But I didn't tell her that's what I was going to do. I said, hey, I said, quote, can I jimmy the lock and get it open? And she was like, I guess. And she watched me. So I knew that I had to make it count because if she saw me beating the crap out of it, she was going to tell me I couldn't. So I gave it a couple really hard yanks and it snapped and it broke the locking thing. So I got my clothes back. And she didn't look super happy, but I don't know what to do at that point. Like I Googled it and everything said unplug the washer and plug it back in. So I did. And it was still locked. And like I even went as far, I put more quarters in it and then I gave it a spin cycle thinking maybe like if it did another like load or whatever, then maybe it would unlock. Maybe it was like a software problem and it just needed to run again. So I ran it again and it still wouldn't unlock. And I'm just like, well, I don't know what to tell you. So be careful at these hotels. Sometimes the laundry machines try to eat your clothes on you. You think this year could have a lot of towns destroyed? I yeah, man, maybe. Okay, so all right, update. The same cloud is still here. I was really hoping that we were going to get a surprise and one of these storms was going to be something we could drive after because normally the bar is set here for storm chasing and this is pretty low. Right now it's set like down here. Um, I'm just happy to be out. I did show up a day early, though, by the looks of it, which is all right. Anyway. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Thursday and Friday. I, I just whatever. I don't even know what to do. I don't even know where to stay. Like I'm just really looking at this, and it's like, God, what do you do? Because I'm about to get really sad because I'm about to look at the temperature data from the truck, and it's going to show that it's very cold out. 63.49. Oh, it. Hold on. That's not right. No, yeah, it is. Temperature is downtrending, though. I see just off to the west, it's like 38 degrees. Is that right? That can't be right. I have to look. There's no way. That must just not have updated. Hang on a minute. There's no freaking way. My internet's being super slow. You hope people keep out of my way? Yeah, me too. You seen the front of this thing? St. Louis could get storms tomorrow. It would be later on, though. Yeah, it is down to under 50 degrees in western Oklahoma. Wow. That's disappointing. That's really sad. Like, I was having such a great day. Like, it was warm out, nice out, and then that crap happens. Like, this is not great. But I'll show you guys Radar Omega here. Hang on. And again, we recommend Radar Omega, so you can watch our live streams in the app. But those are just showers. They're probably not going to do anything. They're saying that we could have storms back up in this region here later on, but man, I'm just really, I don't know if I'm buying it, guys. I got to plug you guys back in. Your battery's about to die here. I don't know. I kind of think whatever cold front or whatever this is coming through is really going to make it hard even for elevated storms. Watch your audio for a second. External mic is connected. I don't think it switched. Oh, I must have. So, I don't know. I don't know what my plan is. I've said that about 30 times. If you're just joining, if you go back and watch the beginning, we answered some questions about RISE-26 and what we're doing. And then something just got a text message. Somebody just had the same thought that I did. But anyway. some of the machine learning, like, which basically is just a fancy way to say kind of like the, shouldn't even call it AI because it's really just, it's not. It's just specific algorithms. Some of the machine learning plots are really showing a lot of activity possible on Friday, but one thing that I've learned over many years of doing this is when it comes to these types of early season events, it's really, really common most of the time for them to look really good and then go to garbage. Like 5, 6 days out, it looks like the biggest thing ever. And then 2 or 3 days out, it starts looking like trash. Sometimes it's the other way around. Sometimes it looks like trash and then it ends up being just a crazy outbreak. So, yeah, do your forecast, all that. But just understand there's a lot of change in each direction with this. Uh, no, Zach, that was west of here somewhere. That wasn't in Edmond. Not far from it though. I don't remember what town that was. I think it was an Oklahoma City address. God dang. Was it Bethany? Yeah, these little showers down to the southeast look like trash. But yeah, so far, like I said, we did a little question and answer thing in the beginning, talked about the weather balloons, the project, and I showed you guys the map. If you guys got anything else, now's the time. Like, you actually have my mostly undivided attention for the first time never, because I really, like, I had low expectations for today. We've got this marginal risk here. And I definitely had low expectations, but I had slightly higher expectations. Like, I actually thought we were going to get something to try to form, but it's not even an attempt. What a letdown. Big marginal risk, though, goes all the way down there from the Texas Panhandle to St. Louis. So somebody could get some storms today at some point. Pretty good chance, though. Pretty good chance, though, that there is some sort of couple of storms here and there with hail later tonight, north of Oklahoma City up to Wichita. Yeah, there was this guy at the gas station earlier. I got out of the truck and he looks over at me, and I'm not even kidding, from the pump next to me. And he goes, "Hey man, do you like grapes?" And he was like bug-eyed, and I don't know what was going on. Something wasn't right about that situation, so I just shook my head and I walked away. I don't know. That was definitely a weird encounter. Somebody asked about that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, man. People are interesting these days. I think we were close to 80 degrees down here today at some point. It had to be. I mean, because I took this to Discount Tire, because guess what? Discount Tire didn't balance the tires right again that I just got. Three days ago. And it was like this going down the road. It was terrible. So I went to the Discount Tire down here in Edmond, which, by the way, way better than a lot of them. And they rebalanced all of them, and they were way off. Like, I don't know what these people were thinking, but they rebalanced them. And when I got out of the truck to drop it off, that was at like 2 o'clock. Um, I walked around outside for a few minutes and I was like sweating. So um, I don't stay at people's houses that follow me versus going to hotels, because that would make me very uncomfortable, and I also don't want to get shot and killed. Not that that's what our followers would do, but it would be very easy for somebody to say, "Hey, friend, come stay with me," and then I show up and they shoot me, or take my stuff, or both, or ask me if I like grapes, or all of that. That would make me really uncomfortable. Most normal people, when they travel, stay at hotels, because people that follow me, like, unless I know you, like, you're still a stranger, right? Um, that's basically just saying, I'm not gonna bum uh, a spare room off of people I don't know, because like it's a security risk, but I don't even care about that. It would make me so uncomfortable that I would have I couldn't know. I wouldn't even be able to do that. Um, Definitely not. I still don't have a clue what the grape thing was about. And like the guy was something was wrong. Like I don't know if he was drugged up or what, but he didn't have any grapes in his hand. It wasn't like he was trying to off his grapes on me. He was just like, "You like grapes?" And I was like, I went like that. And I kind of just shook my head and I just walked into the Loves. I'm like, I don't know what happened. And then I asked the lady at the counter, I was like, "Hey, there's a guy asking me about grapes out there. Do you know anything about him?" And she was like, "He was just in here asking me if I like grapes." I'm like, okay, all right. Thanks, Elaine, for your super chat. I don't use an inverter to run any equipment. I have no equipment that's not 12 volts. I don't use an inverter at all. My thoughts on the upcoming possible severe weather break. Okay, so if you go back towards the beginning of the stream, talked about that, but I don't think we're gonna have any sort of like outbreak. I really don't. I think we're gonna have a couple of kind of messy, not super great or super exciting days, but something interesting will happen, I'm sure. I don't know, man. The forecast is a little bit all over the place. The models are a little all over the place. You're right. There is that freaking thing about the duck asking about the grapes. I forgot about that. Waddle waddle. Yeah, that thing. Jesus. I totally forgot about that. Do I ever allow fans to pay you to ride along? No, because I don't. I'm just not really comfortable around people, especially if you ask me if I like grapes. Um, that's a joke, but it's also not. It's very true. I'm just not comfortable around people. People I know that are different, but like if I brought a stranger into my car, um, unless it's unless it's somebody that I know or work with, like staff, I would be really uncomfortable and I wouldn't enjoy it at all. And the person riding with wouldn't enjoy it either because I'm very chaotic. Um, we go here 1 minute and then we U-turn and then we go over there. It's very chaotic and I never know where we're going to start and end. It would just be a logistics nightmare. It's not it's not like a I don't know why my phone's doing that. It's not like it's a safety thing. It's just a this for me this isn't like a commercialized thing. What we do out for a lot of people it is. It's kind of a commercialized thing where they want to sell their brand, which is extreme storm chasing or whatever you want to call it, or chaos, whatever. I do this backwards from what a lot of people do. So a lot of people say, "Hey, I can make money by driving around screaming and driving into hail or whatever." That's their business model, their need that they're satisfying for people as entertainment. I flipped this around many years ago when I started doing this. I said, I can't do anything with my life. I'm sick and tired of working for garbage ambulance and garbage fire departments. I'm sick and tired of working for garbage people. I want to work for myself, but I don't want to do anything besides this. So I said, how do we make this work? And that's kind of how all this happened. So the drive and the willingness for the adventure came way prior to, hey, we can make money off of this. And you'll notice that, right? Like, we don't advertise, hey, super chat, super chat, super chat. You know, I need your Venmo or whatever the heck we use these days, or Zelle or whatever. Because to me, it's not about that. Yes, we need your super chats. We need your GoFundMe donations. We need all that to do this, right? But I'm not constantly thinking about that because I'm not trying to constantly commercialize a lot of this. Absolutely correct. Like, there could be money to be made into being like, hey, $400 and you can ride with, and I guarantee you we could probably have somebody ride with every single storm chase and probably pay for all the expenses. But I'm not necessarily here to make money. I'm here to, a couple of reasons. Number one, experience the adventure, or whatever you want to call this. Number two, contribute something. We're contributing data, we're contributing visuals. And then three, the final, is to provide some sort of service, whether that's, helping somebody pick up crap after a tornado, or providing some form of entertainment value for you guys. So I want to be here. I want to contribute something. We contribute data that nobody else is able to get. And then we contribute an entertainment value, and then of course like a public safety value and public works value, if you want to call that. Making money is not really anywhere on that list of mine. I get badgered all the time because I'm on a website that tries to get you sponsorships for stuff that a lot of streamers use, and I'm not going to say which one because somebody already tried to get me canceled off of it. But I'm on this website and I get contacted probably once a week from potential sponsors, and they're always like, what's our ROI going to be out of this? They don't even tell me what their business is. And I'm like, well, not my problem. Basically, but it's like, I don't know, because the last one that wanted to sponsor was an energy drink, and it wasn't like Monster or any of those. It was like some weird ass hippie energy drink or something. I'm like, well, what do you want me to do? They're like, well, we want you to. They didn't want me to sell their product. They just wanted me to share about their product. And I was like, okay, number one, and it says right on my company profile, number one, I don't take sponsorships unless I believe in the product, because otherwise that makes me a hypocritical, lying piece of trash, right? And that's how I lose respect, because I can get away with taking sponsorship money and talking to you guys about something if you guys know that I like it. Because really, at that point, yes, I'm getting money for it, but I'm not filling you full of lies for my benefit, right? Whereas if I get paid a bunch of money and say, man, you got to drink this, it's the greatest thing ever, and I hate it, I'm just fake, and you guys are going to know that, and then nobody's going to want to support this. You guys can put up with one, not the other. So I'm like, well, what is? I'm like, well, what is it? It's natural, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, all right. I was like, well, I don't now. I was like, okay, well, that's actually potentially interesting because I'm trying to not really drink like stuff with a bunch of sugar and shit in it. I'm like, all right, send me a sample of this or whatever. They said, before we can send you a sample, we want to talk about economics and ROI. It's like, well, right now, your return on your investment is sending me a packet of your junk to make the energy drink with. And then I'll tell you if it's trash or not. If it's not trash, which is probably not, honestly, then we can talk about that. But I'm like, I can't give you analytics of how many people I'm going to influence to buy your energy drink. I can tell you that if it's not trash, and if it's not like full of like garbage or whatever, if it's something that I would drink, then I can tell you that I will definitely tell people about it, because I do that all the damn time. I tell you about the tires that I use and why I like them. I tell you about the truck I drive and why I drive it. I tell you about the iPhone or the computer or the camera or the radio, whatever the hell we're using. I tell you guys about that. And a lot of these sponsorships, when it comes to like sponsoring specifically a YouTube channel, they're all about commercialized analytics. They don't really care about the organic growth. And I'm going to tell you one thing. I do not have a degree in social media communications, but I have watched and learned a lot and experienced a lot. And I will tell you, slow, steady, predictable, organic growth generates more revenue and more opportunities than fast, artificial, short-term growth. You can go live and get 10 million views, and you can do that for 2 years and then abandon your audience because of burnout or because you lose your niche or your interest or whatever. And then at the end of the day, you walk away with nothing. Or you can do a slow growth, which we see a lot with social media content creators. A lot of it's a slow growth, a slow, consistent growth where the audience is the priority and not the money. That channel, that Facebook page, that Twitter account, that Patreon, whatever, Twitch will still be here in 10 years, generating long lasting revenue. While there's probably been 5 or 6 short term, like quick hitting ones that have come through. And I've seen this in my industry and other people's industries over the past several years. And it's difficult for me even to explain to people like how we make money, because how we make money is mainly social media. So the views don't actually matter. The engagement matters. I don't get paid for views. I get paid basically for engagement. Super chats, shares, follows, whatever. The views don't actually really matter, especially over on Facebook. That's pure engagement. So everything that we do, the science mission, the research, all that, the building, the R&D, research and development, all that has to be paid for. I actually have no return on investment on any of that stuff in the back of the truck, technically. Although I do, but I think if an accountant looked at it, they'd be like, what the hell? Without that equipment, I cannot generate content. I could generate different content, but it wouldn't be that content. So you could say, hey, you could save a lot of money by not doing these science missions, not doing any of that, just driving around screaming willy-nilly all day. Correct. But I wouldn't be happy. We wouldn't be contributing to anything. We wouldn't be bettering the world, things like that. I like what we do because the money comes second to the data, the research, and all that. And, we've got good sponsors right now. Radar Omega, Scientific Sales, all these folks that care about the actual bits and pieces that go into the bigger puzzle of science, the atmosphere, weather, basically the smaller building blocks that make up a larger industry. Those are the kind of people that we look to work with, the kind of audience that we try to get. I like to work with and talk to you guys and work with like our current sponsors that have an understanding of what we do, a respect for what we do, and have a respect for the industry and the pieces that make it up. This is a small piece of the weather industry. There's a lot of small pieces that make up a big thing. And one of them is this, because we've got public outreach and education. We've actually got the data that's being used, the entertainment value as well. But it's really difficult for me to place numbers on a lot because we do this in kind of a weird way. I don't really make any money by launching a weather balloon. I could. We could package the data and sell it privately. We could. But we can also make videos, live streams like we're doing, YouTube Shorts, Facebook Reels. Facebook Reels do really good at this stuff. And then that generates money and that pays for it. Yes, we could generate money and make content off of free things, but where's the uniqueness in that? That doesn't. What sets us apart is we are the only mission, project, whatever, and we always will be, because I've got my nose up so many proprietary things right now that if Jim frickin' Johnson up there says, hey, I'm going to live stream launching weather balloons and doing data probes. Okay, go ahead. But it will never be the same as we do it. It will never be as extensive and as thorough as we do it. What a lot of you guys don't know, and we haven't gotten to yet, is I've actually had to purchase like exclusive licenses for some pieces of software and some moving parts that actually make a lot of this run. Nobody can really copy what we're doing. They might be able to do something similar, but they'll never be able to do it this way. And that gives us and our audience something unique. You know, we're the only channel that does something this way. We're the only channel that does it in this way, shape, or form. There's other live streamers, there's other meteorologists, whatever. Everybody grows when they do something unique. Nobody grows when they all start copying each other. You watch this. At the end of the year, one of the big YouTube streamers, I'm sure, desk forecasters, I'm sure will be funding a weather balloon mission for someone else because we're doing it. Go for it. Because I don't know what you're going to use. You know, for us to be able to do this, to get our foot in this big of a crack in the door was borderline impossible. And I'm not saying that I don't welcome other people to do what we do. I'm just saying that for us to be able to get into this very narrow slot of what we do was probably the most difficult thing I've ever done in my life. And I don't know if I could ever do it again. A lot of it was the time. The time was right. The opportunity was right. And we met the right people at the right time. And also some rule changes that occurred at the right time. So I don't know. It's just that's why I'm saying, you know, because like the suggestion about, you know, allowing people to ride along for it's a very good suggestion. It's actually a very sustainable business model. I guarantee you, we could probably make, I mean, hell, you could probably charge people $1,000 a day to ride along. Honestly, you could actually make money doing that. I mean, there's storm chasing tour groups that do it, and I could definitely do that, um, but I wouldn't enjoy it. So it would ruin the rest of it. But I mean, that's definitely a thing. Um, there's some good storm chasing tour groups out there that make a lot of money doing that, and they should. You know, they do good work. So yeah, I think a lot of people would pay like $1,000. I really do. Like people would pay money, and I mean they do. But I get asked that question all the time. I mean, there's obviously an audience and a kind of a want for it. So I mean, you're absolutely right. There's a lot of people that would do that. I'm actually surprised more people don't do it, but it's probably similar reasons. But it is a logistics nightmare because you never know where you're going to end up, you know, and where did the other person park their car? No, I don't really get scared while I'm out here. I usually most of the time know what's going on. Maybe anxious is a better word because you know you don't want to destroy your car, stuff like that. But everything's 99% of the time out of control. No, I don't have a 501c3, and I never will be able to either because it's not that I have an issue with transparency, but there is so much cancel culture in the weather industry that people would get a hold of the public records and just critique it and frame everything in a negative light. So I like what we do instead. You know, it's a private business. Nobody needs to see my tax returns, but you know, we put the GoFundMe goal on screen. We do things like that, and then you guys get to see what we're blowing the money on, basically. Um, to me, that's almost more transparent than a lot of 501s. Not that 501c3s are bad. It's just I tell you every day it seems like you hear about another 501c3 CEO getting $1 million a year, and it's like you got to pay the guy at the top well. I've been there. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, it's just the CEO. No, like I am the CEO of this, right? I know how much work is involved in this. Like, it looks like they just sit at the desk all day, but I promise you they don't. Well, they, even if they do, there's a lot of work and stress. There's a lot of things that have to be done at the top of the chain. But if you're also running something that's meant to be not for profit, does the CEO really need $1 million a year? Probably not. Red Cross. Things like that. When you've got volunteers out there, maybe give something to the volunteers. It's just no. So no, this will never be like a 501. You have to have a lot of stuff to be a 501. Like, you got to have a board, and you've got to have like publicly available meeting minutes or so. You just have to have so much stuff, and every quarter you got to file new paperwork for this. Like, I mean, I got to do quarterly taxes and all that, but that's not a big deal. Click, 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 done. But like these 501s, it's all this stuff every quarter, and you've got to like reaffirm the 501 every year. It's just a bunch of stuff that, like, I'm friends with people that have had 501s for other things, and some of them even storm chasing related, and almost all of them have just let them go because it was a plan. It was planned to be something big and great, and they found out that they can just do it on their own without the 501 a hell of a lot easier. Which, I mean, at the end of the day, the advantage of the 501 is you can take, tax-free donations, tax write-offs for people, which is nice, but all right, cloud update. The cloud has changed a little bit. Oh yeah, Robert, we're gonna make it successful, even if we have to beg, borrow, or steal the money. I appreciate the comment. Seriously, I really do appreciate that. The thing that we have that's really hard to get are people. Um, it's hard to get people. We've got good people. We just had Zach up to my office last week, and we got him set up, so he's pretty much ready to go. We've got we've got a lot of good supporters, a lot of folks that are going to be out here in the field helping us. And that's the hard thing, is people. Like, I argue that we have some of the best people. A lot of dedication, a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of interest. And that's a big thing. You can't do this without the right people. It's not even about the people. Well, it is, but you have to. It's not even a numbers thing. Like, you have to have the right people, and it's hard to get the right people. Anyways, Facebook down? No, Facebook's not down. It's working. I mean, I just loaded it. Down for you? I don't know what's for dinner, William, dude. I don't even know. Like, is there a Waffle House in Oklahoma City? Probably not. Oh my God, there is Waffle House here. Well, you know what I'm getting. Son of a gun. Get the freaking Waffle House. I don't even know where I'm going to stay. I mean, I really should go to El Reno. But I don't want to go over there if I end up going southeast for the next day. See, I just like staying in El Reno. It's cheap. It's quiet. I mean, El Reno's not that far. It's just on the other side of the metropolitan area. Anyway, yeah, I'm seeing a lot of these like machine learning models coming out with like high values for Friday. A lot of times these are wrong, but the fact that so many of them are putting out kind of higher likelihoods kind of makes you think, well, maybe they are onto something. What's CSU? I haven't looked at CSU. I'm gonna have to figure out where I'm going though because it's almost 6 o'clock. I mean, the day's already shot already. I don't know, guys. What do you? I mean, what do we do? Do we just scrap tomorrow? I mean, I really think tomorrow's trash. I mean, I don't. They'll keep it as a slight risk, just because of the storm coverage. But man, it. I'm not gonna drive out to Northwest Arkansas for a 60-mile-per-hour windstorm at 11 o'clock p.m. when we need to be possibly as far west as Amarillo, Lubbock, maybe even as far south as Midland, Texas the next day. That would just be a miserable drive. So it's like the likelihood of chasing tomorrow is probably pretty low. Just being completely honest, just looking at it from like a factual point of view, which sucks because it's like, man, I'm out here early. Like we could have done it. Now it's like kind of another wasted day. And it's like, what would I do all day tomorrow? So there's a couple of things we could do. If we want to write off tomorrow, we could always go west and just go out to like Amarillo or something. Elk City might not be a bad spot. Start in Elk City for the day, but we could head out that way and sightsee or something. But again, that's what four. I think it's 4 hours from Oklahoma City to Amarillo. It might be five. I think it's four. I don't know. But I mean, we could head out there and do something. Because one thing I'll tell you, if we do not chase tomorrow, I do not want to stay in Oklahoma City area. I want to get out there to Elk City or Shamrock. I like going to Shamrock, Texas. That's a nice Holiday Inn, and it's really quiet out there. It's very quiet, rural community. It's just basically a little map dot on I-40 with a hotel and a Taco Bell. That's about it. Maybe go out to Shamrock. Maybe I'd probably go to Shamrock before I went to Elk City, just because it gets you down the road a little bit. We could maybe go down to like Childress or something too, but I'm kind of thinking maybe tomorrow we want to start the day in Elk City or Shamrock, or not tomorrow, end the day in Elk City or Shamrock, because that means that on Thursday, if we do need to go south, like if we do end up wanting to go down there for like Midland, Texas, that far south for whatever reason, it's a lot shorter of a drive. So I don't know. So we'll do something, but if I do write off tomorrow, I'm gonna probably get moving early in the morning because if we do go out to Amarillo or something, I mean, that's going to be, even if you get going at 10 o'clock in the morning, that puts you there at 3 or 4 in the afternoon, and most of the day is shot by then, too. So you got to keep stuff like that in mind. But sometimes these days can be fun. But there's also, we have to keep in mind, too, that we could wake up in the morning and it could be a huge deal. Tomorrow could uptrend. But the HRRR, a lot of these models just they don't show tomorrow being that great. Even the SPC doesn't really tell us a whole lot other than maybe some strong. I mean, they're definitely not sounding any alarms with it either. Say screw it and go to Amarillo, El Reno tonight. Honestly, the only reason I didn't want to go to El Reno tonight was because that basically takes an extra 20 minutes. Because you're like, oh, I don't know. Let me look. What is it, like 15 minutes west of OKC? Yeah, you're like 15 minutes west of Oklahoma City in El Reno, which isn't a big deal, but by the time you get around Oklahoma City, that 15 minutes turns into a 30-minute. So I don't know. But I'm kind of hedging toward thinking that tomorrow might be a bit of a write-off. This really doesn't look that good. Worst case scenario, we would have a 3.5 hour drive tomorrow if we do the severe weather. Like if we ended up down there in like northeast Texas. So that's not bad. I just like the El Reno area. I'd rather stay there than Oklahoma City. All right. Are we taking bets for hotel prices out there tonight? See, that actually also keeps us in a spot where we could, if, and again, unlikely. What the hell was that? Did I just get a phone call? I did. I swear to God, stop calling me, people. I know who you are. That leaves us in a position where if things start, like, let's say things get crazy at 10 o'clock tonight with hail, we can still drive up north and get it. It'd only be like, let me measure. What's like El Reno to like Alva? How far is that? Let me see. El Reno, 2 hours? 2 hours. So if tonight actually turns into something, which I'm pretty sure it won't, if it turns into something, I wouldn't be against it. Especially if tomorrow looks like trash, I'd be willing to go and do something tonight. I'm trying to get my code here. Hang on. I have a 15% corporate discount code thing that I badgered them into giving us. So I'm going to use it. Let me put that in for my special rate. Hopefully, usually the hotel out there is only, the hotels out there are like $100 a night. It's a cheap place to stay usually. All right, put your bets in because I'm about to have an answer. Sold out. Are you freaking kidding me? Come on. Well, never mind. One of them is, not the other. I was going to say, you got to be kidding me right now. But wouldn't that be something? God, it's the third day of March already. The hell's everybody going to El Reno for? Must be something going on. It's $80, by the way. The answer was 80. I'm trying to book this damn thing before I forget, and then it gets sold out. Comments: late check out PLZ. There we go. Yeah, I think our chances of any sort of interesting weather right now are pretty pathetic. Let me just check the latest HRRR for the heck of it again real quick. Hell, I stayed in Wichita last night. I honestly could have just stayed up in Wichita all day today, realistically. I was just trying to get down here, in case something happened. Yeah, there might be some storms out there. Closer to midnight. But again, that's going to be closer to midnight. So, I don't know. I'm not against it, guys. But if something does pop up, we can go for it. I don't know. We'll see. Low expectations. I think. I was just packing my chargers up here real quick. I had to get a bunch of them out because I was using my computer and I couldn't find the one that I wanted. Shovel this back in my bag. I've been sitting here for probably 3 hours now. Oh, no, not that long. 2 hours? Yeah, probably. I don't know. Well, whatever, guys. All right, well, I'm going to go. I'm going to get out of here and go to the hotel. I guess I'll put some more information on like Facebook and stuff with what the plans are. I'll share it where I can. If we need to, we can go live again tonight. So maybe we will, maybe we won't. I don't know.
Exit the parking lot.
Actually, we can go down the road a little bit here. I want to see how this, because I'm just going direct from my phone right now. Hold on one second. I'm not going anywhere, but you might lose me for a split second. Try to get you guys squared up there. All right. I mean, I guess we can go down the road for a little bit, see how this works while driving. Oh, maybe not. Hang on. I gotta look at something real quick. Hang on. I forgot. I was trying to look at... I got distracted. I forgot why I actually stopped here to begin with. I was trying to look at my battery volts and stuff after sitting versus like startup and all that. And I need to plug the scan tool in because I'm trying to see because we have so much. I'm trying to actually look at like voltage drop and everything, and I probably waited too long now to try to actually get a better calculation of how long I can leave this thing sit, because like I've had the key on this whole time and it started up, but it threw a fit about it. Yeah, see, it actually gave me a trouble code. It's P2122, accelerator pedal sensor 1 circuit. So that's because the battery was low. It's actually, so I have to get that out of there. It's because I run the battery down too much. And I think I might have compromised a ground somewhere. So I don't know. I'm going to figure that out. I want to voltage. It's not like actually a problem, I don't think. I'm trying to figure out why, like what I'm actually running down, because I need to put a disconnect on these batteries so that we can, I need to put a disconnect on these batteries so that when we're out here and I want to leave the truck off, we know what voltage to cut everything off at. I mean, there's like a stand, like, you could cut it off at like 12.6 or whatever, but it's just a little sensitive. So I'll be back after a little while probably or something, but I will catch everybody later.